Okay. Have you ever noticed how, like, spicy food can make you sweat?
Yeah, totally.
Even when it's not even hot out. Like, you're in a cool room, but you're just, like, sweating from this spicy food.
Yeah,
Why is that?
that's our deep dive today.
We're going to be talking about why spicy food makes us sweat. We've got some research here to really break this down.
Yeah, it's a fascinating topic.
I'm excited to dig in.
What's really cool is that it's not the heat itself that's making us sweat. It's actually kind of a biological trick. It all comes down to this chemical called capsaicin, and that's what gives chili peppers their kick. But here's the thing, capsaicin, it doesn't actually generate heat.
It doesn't.
No, it just triggers the sensation of heat.
Oh, so it's like a phantom heat wave.
Think of it this way, like you have these tiny sensors in your mouth
Okay.
called TRPV1 receptors,
GRPV1.
and they are normally responsible for detecting actual heat. But capsaicin comes along and basically sets off those sensors,
Even though?
even though there's no actual temperature change.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's kind of like,
So it's like a prank call to your nervous system.
exactly.
Well, that's funny.
Your brain, it gets the signal from the TRPV1 receptors, right? And it's like, whoa, things are heating up.
Oh, no.
And it kicks off your body's natural cooling system.
Sweating.
Sweating.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
So that's why, even if the food itself isn't piping hot,
Right.
we still end up sweating.
You got it. Your body's just trying to do its job.
It's just doing what it thinks it's supposed to do.
Yeah. Even if it's been, a bit
A
misled.
little bit tricked.
And here's what's even more fascinating. This type of sweating,
Okay.
triggered specifically by eating, has a fancy name.
Yeah.
Gustatory sweating.
Gustatory sweating. Okay.
Yeah.
It almost sounds delicious,
Ah, right.
which is ironic considering it's usually brought on by something that's, setting my mouth on fire.
Right.
Oh, man.
And it's mainly noticeable on your face and scalp too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like your body's saying, "Hey, we need to cool down this specific zone."
It's like emergency. Cool down the face.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. That makes sense, though, since that's where all the action is happening, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And here's a little side note that I always think is pretty mind-blowing.
Okay. Lay it on me.
There are some people with nerve damage
Mm-hmm.
who only sweat when they eat spicy food.
Really?
Yeah, it's a strange phenomenon, but it just shows how intricate the connection is
Yeah.
between our nervous system and how we experience the world.
So, like, their sweat glands got rewired or something?
It's not fully understood, but it definitely points to the complex role the nervous system plays in this whole thing.
Wow. That's wild.
It's pretty amazing, right?
Yeah.
It really makes you appreciate how much is going on beneath the surface. And speaking of things beneath the surface, capsaicin has some pretty surprising uses.
Besides being the star ingredient in hot sauce challenges, I guess.
Well, believe it or not, capsaicin is actually used in pain relief creams.
What?
Yeah, you might find it in those topical treatments.
Like what for?
For like arthritis or muscle soreness.
Wait, hold on. Doesn't capsaicin cause pain?
It does initially.
Like fighting fire with fire?
But here's the thing, capsaicin can actually desensitize those pain receptors over time. So by bombarding those nerves with the sensation of heat, it essentially numbs them.
So it's like overloading the system to quiet it down.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know, like a really loud, annoying song.
Yeah.
Eventually it just becomes like background noise if you hear it enough.
That's a great way to put it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's another example of how our bodies can adapt and respond in these like unexpected ways.
And it makes you wonder, like, if capsaicin can trick our bodies into feeling heat
Yeah.
and then numb them to pain, what other sensory tricks are we susceptible to?
That's a great question. It's a good reminder that our perception of the world is really filtered through our senses.
Yeah.
And those senses can be manipulated sometimes.
That's true.
Speaking of variations in perception, have you ever noticed how some people can handle like insanely spicy food without even like breaking a sweat?
Totally. I have a friend who can demolish a plate of ghost peppers
Oh, wow.
like it's nothing. And I'm over here sweating from like a single jalapeno slice.
Yeah, so it's actually thought that those who are less sensitive to spice
Okay.
might have fewer TRPV1 receptors.
So it's not just like willpower or building up tolerance. It's like
Yeah.
they're literally
Yeah.
wired differently when it comes to spicy food.
Exactly. It's all part of that like wonderful diversity of human biology. And speaking of different species, did you know that birds
Oh,
are
yeah.
completely immune to capsaicin's effects?
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, they can just eat chili peppers.
Like it's nothing.
like candy.
Wow.
That's right. Capsaicin only triggers those heat receptors in mammals.
Oh,
Birds, on the other hand, they don't have those same receptors.
huh.
So they can happily munch on like the spiciest peppers
Really?
without feeling a thing.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know, right?
I guess that makes sense from an evolutionary standpoint because birds help spread chili pepper seeds, so it wouldn't be very beneficial
It would be counterproductive.
if they were like, no, thank you.
Exactly. It's a beautiful example of how evolution has shaped the way
Hmm.
different species interact with their environment.
This is also fascinating. It's really making me think about how much we take our senses for granted and how much they actually influence our perception of the world.
It's a reminder that there's always more to discover, even about things we experience every day.
So to bring it all back to our original question, why does spicy food make us sweat? It's not the heat itself, but the capsaicin in chili peppers tricking our brains into thinking we're on fire. And it's not just about sweating. We've learned about how capsaicin is used in pain relief, how some people are less sensitive to spice because of their biology, and how birds are completely immune to its effects.
It's a whirlwind tour of capsaicin's tricks and surprises.
Love it. So the next time I'm sweating over a bowl of chili, I'll remember. It's not the heat, it's the trickery.
Exactly. It's a reminder that our senses aren't always as reliable as we think,
Right.
and that there's always more to learn about the world around us.
Well said. And on that note of intrigue and wonder, we'll wrap up our spicy deep dive for today.
It's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
We hope you learned something new and exciting.
And most importantly,
Stay curious.
there's a whole world of fascinating discoveries out there just waiting to be explored.